purpose when I opened this business. My purpose actually is to help Filipinos migrate to first world countries actually, no? And then I didn't realize now, imagine for over 20 years with this kind of business, I was able to encounter na there are problems na pala along the way kasi we thought na we're just helping others to go to other countries para they will have better future for the family, for the children, no? But oftentimes na we forgot about the parents na left behind, no?
Good day to all of our subscribers here at Asenyor Fireside Chat. I am your host, Bobby Encheta, and I am very glad to be with the co-founders of Asenyor. We have Lev Kalang and Ilan Agpasa. Hello to both of you.
Hello, hello Lev, hello Bob, hello also to our special guest today.
Hello. Yes, and to our listeners of Asenyor Fireside Chats, thank you for subscribing and thank you for joining us in another enriching episode as we, bring you stories that basically caters to our older adults. And yes, for today's episode, we will be introducing and discussing a new learning program, okay, that we will be offering. So that's part of the programs that we're catering towards our seniors and also their dependents. And joining us is the CEO and founder, okay, of Global Access Consultancy Incorporated. So she is a consultant with over 20 years of experience in visa assistance, mainly migration. And she's been running her own firm for around 19 years already. Welcome, Mom Cecille Lim.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello,
Ma'am.
and Bob. Hi.
How are you today,
Good.
ma'am?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in this program. Yes, and yeah, as
It's
what you
my pleasure.
mentioned, yes, as what you mentioned earlier, we will be having this new learning program, which would help our Filipino immigrants abroad and also their elderly dependents. And we will be doing this
Yes.
in partnership with Global Access. Right, but before we
Yes,
go
that's
into that, can you tell us more about Global Access Consultancy Incorporated, the services that you're offering?
actually the company has it started as a single proprietorship, and then it was converted into corporation. So I have partners with me, mga incorporators, and then we cater mostly about immigration, about people wants to migrate to other countries. We also offer like tourist, student visas, and we also offer business solutions and training also and research. So that's it.
Ma'am, when you say business solutions, what do you mean by that? What kind of services do you provide?
Actually, we also offer like business management, like the accounting system of a company. We do the like doing the system no sa business nila. So sa other people kasi they have business na they have problem with their how they run their business, especially sa accounting actually. So sa accounting mostly. Yeah, we do the QuickBooks, yan. And we do a solution for their problem sa business nila.
So with the migration consultancy services that we're providing, you've encountered, let's just say, several families already, and individuals, those that
Yeah, that's
like
right.
part of your client group. And somehow you've found out along the way that they do have several needs that you could basically like offer them more like the kind of service you'll be offering them would extend beyond, of course, like the processing of the papers and guaranteeing that they will get their visa.
Yeah.
And yes, and what are like the common challenges or needs that you've identified along the way?
Yeah, actually, at first, Lev, no. My purpose when I opened this business, my purpose actually is to help Filipinos uh, migrate to first world countries actually, no. And then I didn't realize na imagine for over 20 years with this kind of business, na I was able to encounter na there are problems na pala along the way kasi we thought na we're just helping others to go to other countries para they will have a better future for the family, for the children, no? But oftentimes na we forgot about the parents na left behind, no? So as yun, I was able to I saw na once nag-migrate na ang family, ang mga anak, no, of course the parents, they were very happy na nag-migrate, but kung tingnan mo, it's like you're leaving your parents for a long time, in fact if not parang permanent na kasi some very old na sila, and then nakita ko na it became a problem na to take care of their who are the people na they could trust ba for their parents, which is hindi nila nakita yon. In fact, I have a client which is close to me na, of course, I help his mother kasi dalawa lang sila in the family, and so the only person who took care of her is yung old a caregiver ng lola pa nila. So sa akin, it's very important na there must be somebody who will look, siguro help them in a way. I do not know how, but I think like ito ang plano natin, but to at least help them how to handle those things na wala sila. So paano natin i-solve yung, so for me, no, hindi my obligation with my clients does not end, no, kung nakaalis na sila. We have to kasi considering yung, kasi I am a family-oriented person. I took care of my parents. So nakita ko ang need to look after for the parents in a way na kaya natin, what we can do for that. So yun.
Service with a heart. Kasi engaged po talaga kayo sa kanila. You are directly communicating with your parents as well. So you're
That's
able
right.
to identify and uncover like their needs or challenges, and then you're finding ways to address that.
That's right.
Yes,
yeah. Actually, there are some parents, no, kasi we can address that by ipaturis natin sila going to the country na saan yung family nila. But there are some parents that they don't want to go there, especially yung mga countries na very cold. So they don't want to go there. So in a way, the reason na may communication pa rin ako with my clients, because they want me to process their parents na pumunta sa Canada. But ang problema, not all parents gustong pumunta sa other countries. So ganun.
Totoo yan kasi kahit po yung mga, yes sir Bob, ano po?
If you would somehow compare this to the regular business, this is what we might call as the after sales services. Parang even if you have already served and provided the services to your principal client, you will still continue to provide services,
that's right,
extra services to them.
Yes, that's right.
And with the kind of kasi you are doing consultancy, and it's kind of with how you do it, kasi Ma'am Cecile, and I would just like to mention this, no, I'm one of Ma'am Cecile's clients, yes, and yeah, when I when I came here, 2016, yeah, as an immigrant, and you are like what I mentioned earlier, yung engagement niyo po kasi sa client niyo talaga, is you are, it's not just, you know, helping them again, like, you know, nung sinabi ko pa na process ng papers, pero all through the years, no? Kahit naging citizen na sila sa ibang bansa, you're still there, yung communication nyo sa kanila,
That's right.
sa parents nila, sa family sila na naiwan sa Pinas, it's still there. And ang ganda kasi, you're somehow, parang nagkakaroon sila ng, in a way, support system through your office, kasi like, all their concerns, of course, through po sa inyo, and then you're able to also like help them address that. And so here it is. We are planning to do a pre-migration assistance seminar. And so like Len, so
Yes.
yeah, we want to know kung like say coming from the perspective of identifying the psychosocial issues and challenges faced by migrants. So why do you think a pre-migration assistance seminar or workshop is important?
Yeah, first and foremost, I would say it's really a challenge, and a form of sacrifice, not just with those who are migrating, but also those who are left in the Philippines, especially with our culture, in such a way na until death, it could be like even until death, our parents, we still want our parents to be with us, but because of circumstances, so that is why we wanted to migrate and things like that. Yeah, the first and foremost psychosocial issues here would be the emotional repercussions that might occur when the families would leave. Okay, and when you say leave, it's not just like leave for a month or a year, but it could be, as what Ma'am Cecil had said, permanent. And this can also be complicated with the stage or the level of stages of their parents, like they are in their adulthood stage, and then a lot of insecurities would come in because they're no longer that healthy, they're no longer that active, and it's the time that they need more their support. However, as parents, they also have this kind of like sacrifice because they don't want to be shall we say parang hindrance to their children's future, things like that. So there are a lot of like complexities here. So that is why it's very important that there is like some form of a pre-migration seminar to help them be adjusted, and to parang is a form of like buffering to help them buffer with the kind of emotional repercussions that they might encounter later when their children would go abroad.
Yeah, that's part of that. And truly, like what Elin said, it would be very helpful, no, if before migrating, yung support isn't just para doon sa magmamigrate, kundi also doon sa mga maiiwan.
Yes, actually, Lev, no, most of my clients, no, after nakalabas na sila, yung mga parents nila, they call me, they ask me about how's my my son, or yung family, especially may dalang mga anak, no, they always call me. So meaning I have to explain to them kung ano ang nasa sa lugar na pinuntahan ng family nila. So they just want assurance na ganito. Now after that, I have to discuss to them para maano sila ba, they will feel yung comforted sila, kampante sila na okay lang. So yun ang first, no. So most of my clients na ang parents talaga ang tumatawag sa akin.
Assurance.
Now after assurance from me na okay lang sila, which is ako rin, I felt that kasi I was the one who sent my brother to other country also, but ang diyan, ang ako mismo hindi rin ako mapalagay. I have to check from time to time if okay ba sila doon. Okay, so gano'n. Now, after yan, I have to, kasi, I have a client na I thought na happy yung mother when her daughter left for that country, and then ang problema na depressed pala. She was so depressed. After a few months na nalaman ko nga she was so depressed. So parang naging I feel guilty na it happened na ganun ang na-depress yung mother. How can I help her? Bakit do I have to go to their house to comfort her? So hindi ko pwede. So I have to to reach out to them and to the family na okay lang sila, but once ma-depressed na kasi they cannot, I do not know if sila na comforted sila sa what I explained to them, but fortunately the mother died kasi because of that na may sakit pa siya.
Yeah,
very unfortunate. So yun, that's the reason na I think we have to do something about this. We have to how can we help them? Kasi it's not hindi yun, it's not that it's not my na I send people to other countries, but actually I'm breaking the heart of the parents.
Those who are left behind.
Yeah, those who were left behind. So I thought happy, but that's for a short time lang na happy ha. But once na realize na nila na they can no longer see them for quite siguro some parents nga they will say na buhay pa kaya ako pagbalik niyo, yung mga ganon. So sabi ko, am I helping them? I am helping the new generation, but what about the parents? So I think we have to do something for that.
Yes, and also like I agree with what Elin said, no, there are really complex factors coming into play here. Kasi there are lots of things to be considered din dyan. Like what Elin said, yung mga, of course, there are parents, of course, no, na they're very supportive with like goals and dreams of their children, if they want to, and then they don't want to be like a hindrance. But then the emotional aspect taken into consideration, yun nga, nandun talaga yung well, they will miss their children, and then anxiety and worry pa, especially for those na migrating to say Canada or US, for example, and they do not have any relatives there or family members. So isa din yun. Kasi hindi naman po lahat na yung pupuntahan nila may mga kamag-anak. So that's one. And some of our older adults are not yet, say for example, medyo atundo when it comes to use of technology. So even though there's Facebook, or they could have FaceTime, or they could go on Zoom, yung iba wala pa sila doon, and that it adds to that, yung homesick, like missing their children, and the anxieties and worries. So with all of this, what do you think are like the, say for example, helpful steps na pwedeng gawin ng ating mga say those who are planning to migrate, okay, for them to be able to like still give an assurance doon sa magulang nila na we're here, okay, we're still here, we could communicate kahit across borders, and any thoughts on that, Len?
Yeah, first and foremost again is that preparation is very important. So it's not just like preparation in terms of documentary requirements, preparation about, but it's also important with psychological preparation. Like those who are migrating and those who are left behind should have some form of like an agreement already, or like a form of awareness about what would happen when they migrate. So it's like parang hypothetical thought ba na if we would migrate, so kayo lang dito ang maiwan, kayo lang dalawa, things like that. And then because to avoid psychological problems later on, or emotional problems later on, we have to establish predictability, and as much as possible lessen uncertainty. because uncertainty, unpredictability, that can actually exaggerate
Trigger.
the emotional problems of those who are left
That's right.
behind, because they do not know what's happening, they don't know when they're going to call, things like that. And yeah, when you say separation anxiety actually is not, they get anxious because they are left here, but they get anxious because they think that when they would not see physically their children, something bad would happen to them, that kind of
So,
thought. And then that can make them, yeah, it would run on their thoughts, things like that. So yeah, as what I have said, preparation is very important. Before sometimes we are get so busy with a lot of documentary requirements, and then with that, so we di na matagad. And then that is why we also have to tell them it's really important to prepare psychologically, to practice na, like
Psychologically.
yeah, to practice
psychology.
gradually and think about their children leaving and also their grandchildren leaving, things like
That's
that.
right.
So
What's the
yeah,
difference between
mm,
what's the difference between psychological preparedness and emotional preparedness? Are they the same?
eh, yeah, actually, when you talk about psychological, it's something to do with emotional and the mind, things like that. And emotional pertains with emotions. But in theories and in recent research, we cannot really separate the mind and the body. So when you say psychological problems or emotional problems, they're really closely related. Mhm.
And we're very glad that Asenyor is partnering with GACI, or Global Access Consultancy Incorporated, in conducting etong bagong program natin, which is the
Migration,
pre-immigration
yes, assistance.
uh,
Assistance
assistance
So,
seminar.
program, seminar. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
And this can
Mm-mm.
add more value to what Global Access is currently offering already, no, to your clients.
yes,
Because we know, yeah, there is a what we call as a pre-departure seminar or PDOS na
that's
kailangan
right.
gawin ng mga
Yeah.
magmamigrate. I went through that, I experienced that, but yes, walang ganito, okay? Like the psychological preparation and all of that,
Mhm.
it's not, being tackled there. It's not being discussed. We don't go through that, and we don't involve our family members who are not migrating with us sa PIDOS. So it's just us, like ako, just me.
Mhm.
And we don't have there our parents or, our older family members, okay, who are going to leave behind. So this is kind of we are trying to establish here that migrating still, there has to be this, like yung familial connection, it has to be still very intact, and kasi there's this thing called transnational career family integration. So kahit na
Mhm.
malayo ka sa family mo, sa parents mo, you could still do caregiving. It's not just being physically present. So caregiving across
Yeah.
borders, which could be in the form of, ano kaya yun, Len? When we say caregiving across borders.
Yeah, communication,
Mhm.
constant communication. And when you say communication, it has to be quality communication. So it's not just like when they talk, they would say, "Oh, anong gusto mong bilhin ko? Anong gusto mong pasalubong?" Ano? Communication would be about how have you been doing? Even a simple question as anong ulam nyo dyan? Things like that. Oo. So, and then you can start talking about the life, the day ahead, for example. So things like that. Communication really is very, very important. And the challenge here is, yeah, digital communication. So that is why in PIMAS, we also introduce a kind of seminar that would help our elderly shall we say, being able to parang hindi sila parang mailang when they use Facebook or when they use Messenger, things like that. Mm-mm. And
Oh,
another thing also with what's included in the PIMAS is a seminar that would talk about the emotional dynamics and the coping strategies. Like we would help
Mhm.
them understand that what they are actually undergoing right now could be is the reason why. The reason there it's because they miss their children. Like say for example, they feel observe that they have become irritable, or like they feel na parang walang appetite, things like that. So we would teach them the red flags. And then we would help them identify the reason and the triggers so that they can understand better themselves. Ito na pala, kaya pala. And then this can help when they are able to understand their actions and behaviors, they can become more kampante. And then they can plan on how to move on, things like that. So that's also part of our the PIMAS that we are offering in partnership with Global Access.
And all of this contribute to healthy aging. Yes.
Yes.
Emotional, mental, their well-being. And Ma'am Cecile, aside from itong mga
Yes.
psychosocial challenges and needs na you've somehow identified, like throughout your years of being an immigration consultant, aside from that, what are the other challenges and needs that the elderly family members left behind are facing?
Who are also going to be left behind should also be briefed, should also be oriented, should also be prepared, and they should be told what are your obligations, what are the things that will happen, how do you cope with this, so that people would also be able to preserve their families. I'm saying that I am saying this because earlier, before we have our program, I was listening to another favorite program of my sister and my mother. I think you already know what that program is, on YouTube. Na etong mag-asawa nag-aaway dahil hindi nabibigay ng isang partner yung gusto ng isang partner, and then when they communicate, maybe on Messenger or on Zoom, nag-aaway, and then there are demands that are not met, including physical demands. So sometimes yung sinusumbat ng babae na, ikaw kasi kung andito ka, hindi mo man lang ako kinakalabit na, parang those things. And then yung lalaki would be saying, kung ano naman ganon, di ba sabi ng doktor hindi ka na pwede, so ganito and so on. But sometimes these are really very big challenges, and we should, well, not we, but these partners, these individuals who are separated by, let's say, land and sea, should all the time remember that if you really want your, let's say, relationship to be preserved, you want to preserve the relationship among family members, you should also remember what your obligations are and how you would be able to satisfy the needs of both parties because of this challenge of separation.
And that applies to say the relationship between the children and their elderly parents left behind. And
because this is also another thing that happens. Minsan, when parents are at odds with each other, they would use the children as pawns of their as pawns of their misunderstanding. So they get back at each other by, let's say, one partner saying, because you don't want to answer my call, I'm going to punish your child. I'm going to spank your child. Parang nabuntunan ng galit yung mga anak, which becomes very unhealthy.
Yeah. And also yung parents who are left here in the Philippines, some they don't understand na magkaiba yung time natin sa like sa Canada or sa US. So if you can yung like yung medyo matanda na talaga na parent, they don't understand however you explain to them na hindi yan pwede kasi ganito. Kasi just like my father, an example is my father. My sister is in the US, and so para sabi niya, anong ginagawa niya doon? Andito kami. Kasi my sister is taking care elderly people. What about us? Sabi niya, what about us? We are also matatanda na rin kami. Why is she there? So ganun din yun ang may dalawa, sabi pa ng father ko, may dalawang matatanda dito na iwan. Why is she taking care of other people? So ganun na So it's very hard to explain to them ang situation, ang time, kasi every time they want to talk to her, patawagan nila kaagad. So hindi naman pwedeng makausap kasi nasa trabaho. So yun ang isang problema, which is sa tingin ko we have to address also na like, pag-explain sa kanila. But although iba-iba yung range sa ages, so may mga medyo young pa, they can understand but others okay lang if there are yung mga young ones pa na naiwan. But some of my clients, ang iba sa kanila, parents na lang talaga ang naiwan. Kasi siguro may sibling that they are working. So, ang nasa isip ng parents are those yung children nila na away from them, na hindi sa Philippines but yung nasa labas. What are they doing right now? Okay ba sila? So we have to consider also the culture, kasi we're very close to our especially to our parents. So culture, consider natin na hindi hindi nila hindi sila sanay na other people ang mag sa kanila. So so I think we have to get them ready sila for that.
For that. And I guess, Ma'am Cecil, in relation to that, like what I've asked earlier. So aside from, kasi I'm also like looking at like that, I mean to say with that kind of situation, like I'm looking at this different kind of lens, no? What if, say, for example, kung yung parents sila are still very active and productive talaga. Right. They have like other things na pinagkakabalahan in a way. Instead of just, like stressing over or worrying kung ano nang nangyari dun sa mga anak nila sa ibang bansa. Meron po ba kayong mga na-identify pa na ibang challenges or needs aside from like the psychosocial issues and that aspect? Say for example, something related to livelihood, remittances and all of that, and making sure that yung mga pinapadala nila sa magulang nila is like properly spent, managed, or yung mga ganon, or invested. Are there like stories like that po na na-encounter nyo through the years? Yes.
Actually, not much, kasi I don't talk about yung sa finances nila, but there are parents na okay lang yung andyan pa ang family, ang mga anak. But once umalis na, the parents do not know how to handle at first okay lang, marami pang pera, but I noticed na some, they do not know how to handle their finances. Minsan nabibigyan na lang doon sa mga hindi ba kailangan bigyan, yung mga ganun. So we cannot also rely from the sa mga anak na umalis, kasi if you go to other countries, it's not a walk in the park na parang madali lang yung paghanap ng pera. So for me, kasi I cannot say na the family na nasa labas can help sa parents dito sa Philippines, but mas mabuti siguro na we can also help them how to handle their siguro finances sa family, but I do not know how, but siguro pwede, we can advise or counsel. So things like that siguro. Kasi so I was not able to experience talaga na. Yes.
Yeah. So perhaps with the partnership of Asenyor and GACI, we will be able to do something to solve that problem with regard to helping the parents who are left behind manage yung financial aspect na which you have also seen. So when are we going to be launching this program, na partnership between GACI and Asenyor?
We will be launching this, Sir Bob, anytime this month. End of July. We will be posting this in our website, asenyorgroup.com, all our social media pages, the website of Global Access Consultancy Incorporated, and also their social media sites. And we will be blasting this sa ating mga email subscribers, so they will receive information on this. And this isn't just for the clients of GACI, right, Ma'am Cecil, but this is like for all
that's right.
Immigrants and their families.
Yeah, kasi I was able to see that problem, no? So yun nga sinabi ko sa iyo, Lev, it's not for our clients only. So pwede rin nating maano sa iba kasi it's for me talagang malaking problema. Yun nga, ang isang problema is yung like someone going abroad to work tapos naiwan yung family. So ibang problema rin yun sa relationship between the father and the yung mga anak. Ito yung sa parents, oftentimes sila ang parang na left out sila sa ganito na problem kasi they're already old. So hindi sila na hindi mapagtuunan ng pansin because of their age. So usually anak or but for me it's really a very big problem talaga yung about the parents. I do not know how it's maybe because of my experience also na ako I'm taking of my care of my parents. Some of my siblings are abroad. So ito ang nakita ko kasi they always ask about the my siblings abroad. They keep on asking about them. Okay ba sila doon? When are they going back home? Yung mga ganun. So yun ang we have to maybe, I do not know how, but we can probably explain to them na okay lang kung bata pa sila left in, but they are already, yung mga bata, mga medyo bata pa na parents, walang problema, they know how to yung mga technology ba? Facebook, alam nila yon. Like sa age ko. But for mga 90s na. But yeah. Yes, Bob.
Perhaps you can do something sa senior to be able to also help global access provide solutions to this particular issue on how do we also ensure that the parents who are left behind will be emotionally and psychologically prepared so that they would understand yung mga anak nila na who are already there abroad and so on. So we have a very exciting event that is going to be happening sometime at the end of the month of July, which is the launching of the PIMAS, which is the Pre-Immigration
Assistance Seminar.
Assistance Seminar with GACI. So as we close, Ma'am Cecil, do you have anything else to share to our listeners?
Oh, well, that's it. All I want is we could do something for our parents and somehow help them in a way na yung kaya natin, and probably through this program that we are planning to launch. So perhaps you can help not only my clients but also other people whose children are also abroad. So it's open for everyone.
We are very happy with this. Yes, and we're very happy with this partnership, ma'am. Thank you so much. Because we with the advocacy of a senior, which is geared towards healthy aging and productive retirement, we will be able to serve, mas wider na community ng ating mga seniors. We are extending now our services to the older family members of Filipino immigrants. And we are like part of our PMAS will be to create the support group for counseling, family counseling, para mga touch point sessions with the elderly family members and yung mga anak nila abroad. So for them to have this, parang support group. Yes, support group really to address any challenges and like needs that may arise along the way. So Eden, diba? So mag-launch na tayo nito with Global Access. We're happy.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yes. All right. Okay. Yes, sir, Bob.
That ends our episode. That ends our episode today. For us senior, this is Bobby, and we have Lev, Elen, and to all of our subscribers, please do not forget to click the like button of this episode and share this to your circle of friends. Thank you once again and good day.
Thank you. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Thank
Cecile.
you. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you next episode.